Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our February product update webinar with clients. I'm Rosalie, and joining me, as always, is our CEO, Yannick. Hello, Yannick.
Hi, Rosalie.
How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Can be happier. I'm coming back from a week vacation with my friends, skiing in the Alps. I know we have a lot of Europe customer here, so I can believe you guys have this in your backyard. Really want to go again, so find me an excuse to go visit. I'll go anytime. It was awesome.
If anyone has ski trip suggestions as well, you can drop them in the chat. All right, and as always, we have Natalie as well, who will be in the chat to help you answer questions live. So feel free to drop questions anytime. And quick reminder, participate in the polls. Don't be shy with reactions because we see them. So yeah, just keep it interactive. Let's start off with our very first very first poll. As always, we are curious to know if we have new customers, not new customers, if you're new to this webinar. So we want to know if this is your first client webinar. You can take a second to answer, and then we will move on to our agenda. And today we have a really packed
Yes, very.
agenda. Actually, I'll leave the poll on the side, but we will start with what's new in version 51.2. Which would be officially released next week. Then we'll, well, actually, Yannick will do a walkthrough of the Snap Workspace, which we talked about last time, but we just mentioned it by name. Today, we are actually showing it. And then we'll give you a quick update on the latest improvement with our project agent. And we'll finish off with product roadmap, ideas, and conclusion, a couple of other updates. So we'll fit it all in 45 minutes. Thanks for answering the poll. It looks like, oh, we have a lot of new people today. So welcome.
Awesome. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Welcome.
perfect. All right.
It's a
All
good
right.
one to start your
Yeah,
webinar
yeah.
following career.
You'll see, we talk very fast. So that's one feedback we have. All right. As always, we encourage you to review our release note when you are upgrading and pay a special attention to those upgrade considerations with the red light emoji, which indicates when a system admin has to do something specific. So for this release, there are 4 upgrade considerations that we highlight on the slide to make your life easier. But when you're in the client community, you could also simply ask Klara, who's our chatbot, what are the upgrade consideration for 51.2? So I'm sure
Our agent, Rosalie, our agent, not our
our
chatbot.
agent, our agent Klara. All right, so I'm sure after today, everybody will go in and ask this very question to Klara, but you can ask her any other questions as well. All right, let's move on to the next slide. 51.2. So this version, FYI, currently on beta, and it will be generally released next week on February 25th. This is something new. We are doing the beta release. So if you're an early adopter, you'll be able to upgrade right away when we release the beta version. You just need to email our support team to get the link. And then we really do welcome your feedback. And then 2 weeks later, we will always release the version GA. So yeah, that's about it. This is what we're going to cover for 50.3 and 0.2, and then we'll move on to the next section of the webinar. All right. So first off, project management. So at the end of October, we released version 50.8, which had the transpose project functionality. I heard many customers are already using it. But on 51.2, we added it to the workspace. So Yannick, do you want to show what that is about?
Yes, absolutely. And in regards of the beta link, for now you have to ask support, but eventually we'll put it on the community, so this way you can try it out. So this is the new period of time that we allow ourselves to play a little bit with the feature, get some early feedback from you. So don't hesitate to upgrade. Okay, the use case, you have a project that you took time to schedule, plan, or maybe you use a template, but it moved in time. We've released our transpose project that you can call even by API or by flow to transpose your project based on any kind of trigger you want. But as well, in the past, what you needed to do was to select all of it like this, and you could move right and left. But we've introduced that action, transpose project, directly from the workspace now. So if I just go in my action, go transpose project, it's going to offer me to either transpose the entire project or some specific task. Let me go for entire project. When it's going to ask me, it's going to tell me which date do you want to transpose to, or I can even transpose by a certain number of days. So let's now say I'm gonna move it to today and move it up. But before I do that, I just want to show you the other option. So you can decide to move just some section of your project or some task, meaning the parent, the children, and the dependent task will follow through if you do that move. And again, you have the same thing, specific date or specific day. So let me go switch to today and save it. So this new functionality is available from the action panel on the workspace.
And it works independently of workspace filters. So if you have filters, it's still considering the full project.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you see that the entire project got moved. And the I forgot to mention at the beginning, but you can see that my project do have some dependency, but you see that block phase 2, there's no dependency at all, and it still moved it. So it's not a question of just dependencies, it's moving everything. And we're going to be talking about the scheduling a bit later on. So this moves all the schedule as well at once.
Perfect. And you can do that from the global workspace as well, just if that's you need to do multiple projects at the same time. Yeah, next one.
Following up on the agenda was the new indicator. It's just a visual indicator. So when you're either sorting or like in this case, I'm sorting by task name, you can see that the button here showed up, but now you can see it's red. So to make it easier to grasp that there is some sorting, or if I just want to see my project manager, if there is some filtering, this way now those boxes are highlighted in red. So it's easier to know how come I'm not seeing all my tasks. Yeah, it's because you have to filter applied. Good. I see a smile, Rosalie. But,
yeah, I know it happened a lot of time that you weren't seeing the right result, and it was just like kind of hidden at the top. So I think that's nice.
So this is fixed. And the last thing here, okay, so when let's say I have this again from the workspace. Let's say I want to assign those 3 tasks. I can multi-select, can right click, and I can do choose assignee. And then let's say I wanted to assign maybe a Jenny Red on this. I can also we've added that checkbox notify resource, so she's gonna receive an email for every task that she's been assigned as soon as I'm gonna save. So this is we had that functionality available from the task panel and from initial assignment. On the task panel, you have it here on the right next to the resource name. So it can load. Just reopen it. Time to take a sip of coffee, I guess. So that small arrow here, in this case, it's grayed out because there's no email address associated with my resource, but it's the same behavior. It's sending that email out to your resources.
Perfect.
Good. And to conclude on the project management side of thing, we added some support on the home page. Do you want to go through it, Rosalie?
Yeah, this is actually an idea that had been submitted and got enough votes from our community. So we did add it. It's when you're creating the new project, we added the dependent pick list support in it so that only the relevant pick list values are shown, not everything. So it should save a little bit of time and confusion for those early creation of projects.
This is a good feature of Salesforce, pick list and dependent pick lists.
Yeah. Yeah, switching gears to resource planning now. And the first one is actually one we had a lot of requests from customers. So Yannick, we can now reassign task assignment and project assignment directly from the resource planner, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I was playing with it this morning. I even updated my color scheme, so I'm excited about that too. But the thing is that we are adding cool functionality to really simplify your work and your job. So in this case here, we can see I'm in the global resource planner, but it does work from elsewhere. You can see that in my resources, Jenny Red, she's overbooked. She's 133% next week, 110 the week after. She hasn't worked a lot this week, so for those 2 weeks, it might be okay. But early March, 175, this is way too much. So what's happening here? Can I do something about it? So if I expand Jenny Red, I can see, for example, that I have those 2 projects here that's building up, and we have 40 hours full-time assigned for that website redesign. If I expand it again, I can see she was assigned to the menu bar design and production of it. I can see it's 40 hours, and most probably because it's a design and production, maybe I can split it in two and assign some portion to somebody else. I can see here that Roxanne Green has a perfect all within. So what I can do is that we have, since we've introduced grouping, you can select, control select, for example, those two blocks. I can group them. So it's going to change the grouping. So now I'm going to have those two grouped together, and those two are going to remain the same. And if I right click and I do reassign, it's going to reassign my entire group. And then I can just decide which resource I want to reassign it to. So I can reassign to Roxanne Green. You can see the dates are here, and there's a checkbox distribute evenly. By default, it's going to do apply the exact same pattern of scheduling. It's going to reapply it to Roxanne. But if I just want to apply the distribute evenly, I can do that too. So just by doing this, now those two blocks will be dispatched to Roxanne Green. And now I've solved two problems. Roxanne is in green, and we have Jenny Red that's back in green, like it's for magic.
So yeah, what's new is the right click option that wasn't there before, but combined with the grouping makes it like super powerful.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the right click reassign that's been introduced. So you can reassign. If you want to just reassign a block, for example, you can ungroup, and then that block is going to be ungrouped, and then I can just reassign it, that specific block itself.
Perfect.
Yep. So the next one, Rosalie, is...
Yeah, staying in planning, we also improved the, it's with the resource request page.
Yep.
So we've made some improvement to that for comparing
resource request, resource compare. It's the intermediate UI when you're assigning people. So you can see here that I have my resources. We've looked at Jenny and Roxanne, but I have my placeholder projects. So project that either in pink that are not been sold yet, so pipeline project. But here in red, I have one that is it's in red because it's ready to be staffed. And then I can see that I have some hours. And if I expand, I have my different task in it, but it's for my project manager. So what we've introduced is from that new button as well that's been introduced a few releases ago, the compare resource. It's bring our, this is the resource request or the compare page where you can see all your project manager. You can see what is the project we were looking at, the new project to staff, the hours needed by that project manager. The maths here are already done, meaning that we already know if the people can do it or not, because if we're looking for the people, the older user, in the past, there was only one option. It was resource availability, and you needed to do maths in your head. So now we're defaulting to remaining availability. So we're already applying the maths to see if it fits. And what we've introduced here now is that, for example, if we want to know what's happening here with Kenta, because she seems to be the only one that's able to take it, if I expand Kenta now, I can see which project she's assigned on. So that's the part that we've added. For now, we're only showing project. We don't go one level deeper. We most probably will. There's no link either to go directly to that project. Most probably we're going to add one too, but at least you're starting to have some visibility, and you can just have another browser on the side with the full resource planner, or you can just always go back to change the other resource scheduling. Cool. Still there, Rosalie?
Yeah, I think we're getting out. Yeah, my schedule.
Perfect.
Yep.
And then editable my schedule. Last thing on the home page, we've added a few components a little while back. And in the my schedule now, if you have it's a custom setting you need to enable. Our customer asked for that, that my schedule can be editable. So now you can have an editable schedule, so you can create your own thing. Before, by default, it's a read only. But if you want to make it editable and give some more power to your resource to use it, either on the schedule mode or on the plan mode, you can do that. That conclude, I think, the new release.
That one, there's a upgrade.
I'm sorry?
That one has an upgrade. That one has an upgrade consideration for the editable workspace that you need to enable.
Yep. This I'm not gonna demo. So in the timesheet, we've introduced a menu where that's redirecting you. Some people wanted to ask, customer wanted to hide that timesheet link. So now this is configurable too. And latest release, we've introduced the hours and a way of adding time in the timesheet. Mobile timesheet is also supported.
Yay. All right. And this is what wraps up 51.2. I have a poll, but I think we'll skip it and just jump in this Snap Workspace, which I think people are more excited about
Okay,
that.
as you wish.
Uh,
You can do it
so,
at the same time if you prefer.
for the Snap Workspace, let's talk about that famous Snap Workspace. I've talked about it. Yannick has talked about it. You may have heard about it. We'll just start off with a quick poll. So before we dive in, we're curious to know, how do you track project performance today? We added a couple of options. You can select only one option. Maybe I should have put it multiple, but Salesforce dashboard report, Excel report, Power BI, Tableau, mostly manual, feel gut, or you don't really track that. That's going to give us a good idea where people are at, and I will share the result for that one. Otherwise, for this specific portion, if you have questions, comments, things you want to see, please use the chat. We'll try to integrate that into the presentation. And if we can't follow up now, we will do it after. And maybe, Yannick, while people finish answering, you can start by explaining why we built the Snap Workspace in the first place.
Yeah, and you can access it through the app launcher if you have the rights. There's a permission set. We have 3 new items here. We have the Snap Workspace that we're going to explore, the snaps, and the daily snap. So first, I'm going to just start, like you asked, Rosalie, just to explain the idea. We're going to look at how it's built, and then we're going to look at the cool part, the graphic. So the idea with Snap Workspace, it's really to give you visibility, a better visibility, but also to get your project to tell you a story, to tell you what's happening, and so you can take action immediately, and you have that information right in front of you. So what we've created is those snaps. So you can create a new snap, and a snap can be based on project or resources. So you can pick any resource, or you can pick any one of your project. At this point, it's one project at a time. But you can also call this via batch, so you can create those projects per batch. Those snap that are created, not this one. Those snap that are created, this is the one that we've just created. And we list here the first top 3 snap, but you can see all the different snaps you've created. You can create them within a schedule. So the idea is to have an historical tracking of your project and what is built. And it's built of a snap object, which is the envelope, kind of the batch, with all the details of total scheduled revenue, log, etc., but for that specific batch. But it includes daily snap. And this is the key, because you can use the Snap Workspace like I'm going to show you, but also if you want to do additional report on top, you can just use the daily snap object to report. And there's different snap type. So you can see project billing are included, task information, project information, timesheet, etc. So this is the anatomy of it. This is let me just go back to my other tab. So this is how it's built. So now let's go more in the fun stuff. So no, actually, let me open up the one that we just created. So when you're landing here, you can see that we've dropped the component as well in that snap object that's related to a project. So meaning that you can have your list in your project, a related list of all your snap, so easily accessible from your project. And from here, we've introduced something great. And which project I have? Open up the last one. Nothing.
You have too many snaps.
See if I phew. I found that. So okay, let me go with this view. Okay, so you saw I dropped the component on my snap object, but here, for example, you can see that I'm back in the UI, and let me show less. I have my list of all my different staff across my project, and there's a checkbox. When you select the checkbox, it's going to pick the first one within the list, and this is what is going to be plotted in the graph that we're going to be looking at in a few seconds. Okay, so you can only plot one per project at a time, but you see those checkboxes here, we're going to be able to compare across. So we'll come back to that. What we've introduced with this is we've introduced the notion of earn value within the client product. So here, for example, we have the earned value for this project with the scheduled performance, and there's nice help information. So the scheduled performance index. So in terms, if you're tracking between your logged hours and your scheduled hours, you can see we're pretty much on top with, we want to be close to 1, so at 0.93. We're under budget. We've introduced progress, estimation, and completion. And you've also introduced some highlights here. So we're on track, but we can see that January is over schedule across our project, to be careful. So there's even intelligence that being shown. And you can see that everything we will be seeing in a few moments, it's always broken down in different categories of hours, revenue, or cost. And you can see within that, we always have the dimension of plan, schedule, log, and invoice. And I'm not sure if Jason is there from operators, but he's using a lot the plan, and is always asking us to make sure that we include plan in what we do. So Jason, within here, we have plan and schedule, so you can easily see your variance between what your plan and schedule. And for now, we're looking at as of today. Okay, so this is the new KPI information that's coming into the Snap Workspace. Next, the graph itself. Okay, so here, this is the core of the Snap Workspace. And let me just put it full screen. We go back one step. So here, from here, what you can see is that we have our the graph of our project. And we can see we have 2 buttons pressed, the schedule button and the log button. The schedule button, the dashed line, is your schedule. And the other one is the hour that's been logged. And you can easily show your variance in between what was supposed to happen and what happened. In this case, we're over billing. It might be okay. It depends on the scope. You can see at the end, we are going pretty good. And we can see where we're going in the future as well. Okay. The variance can be shown this way, but it can also be shown as a bar graph. So you can see that we've run over logging hours in the past. But what's the problem here is that we're not billing enough at the end here. So let's investigate this for a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go do last 30 days. And you saw that, you didn't see it, but let's say I'm going in my up to today. I'm doing very well overall in the project. But if I'm doing the last 30 days, you can see that my scheduled performance now is dropping because I'm not logging enough hours versus what was scheduled. Okay, so already you can see that the Snap Workspace can bring insight into what's supposed to happen and are you tracking or not. Are so good, Rosalie?
Yep. We had some questions, but we can wait until the end.
Okay. I'll finish this line of button here. I'll take the question after. Okay. So what you can see as well is that we have other buttons. So we have one billable. So now it's plotting another line underneath and it's tracking. So it means that we didn't do a lot of non-billable. So if I want to isolate and just look at the non-billable, I can right click. And now you see it's going to only show my non-billable line, which is very tiny, what you want at the bottom here. And you can see when you hover, you can see there's always some nice pop-up. And if I click on that data point, it's going to bring me into what's building this. And you can see here that I have 6 hours of Roxanne Green of non-billable hours. If I wanted to explore, I could just click that link to explore. So you will see everywhere in the Snap Workspace, you're going to be able to click and have more information as well. Another key thing is what's been invoiced. So it's okay to log hours, plan hours, but what are we invoicing? And you can see we had 2 invoices. If I hover as well, I can see that we've invoiced 221 hours. So those are the hours, not the cash. We'll see the cash in a second. But since that date, which was November 16, we haven't invoiced anything. So we're lagging. So absolutely, we should be running another pass of invoices now. This is problematic. Okay, this, again, should bring a lot of insights. We've been talking about the cash, but the hours. Now you can see on the right side another axis as shown. So cash, so schedule and log cash, and we can hide if we want the other side and just focus on cash for now. And I have the same invoice line, but now just on the cash side of things. But what's also cool is that this is not just for hours like other tools we had before. You can even add your milestone billing. So you can see my curve is changing now if I want to show my milestone billing and even my project billing. So here, if I'm highlighting that point, you can see that I have first, this is a milestone here, and you can see there's $15,000 associated with it. And you can see here that this small dent here, it's because of a project billing that got invoiced for 4,444. That got charged, not invoiced, because you can see that we haven't invoiced them. There's nothing since November 16th, like we said before. The same thing we can do with those things here on top, you can do with costs. So if you want to plot your schedule costs or your log costs or your plan cost, which can be different or the same as your schedule costs, you can do it. We also have another line for estimated hours across the board. So this is the targeted line of 519. So you can see that in the future, we're overbooking. And we do have some filter. So if you just want to see the contribution of Ben Gray, for example, I can just select Ben Gray and then only Ben Gray will show. And you can filter by task or by role. So this brings you a little bit more flexibility. So you don't need to recreate a snap all the time. You can just filter directly from it. Okay. This is what is also cool. So based on the SPI as of today, so 91, 93 here for the schedule and for the costs, what we are able to do now is that based on the schedule hours, because this is we already had it, now we're just representing it, we can even show you forecasted logged hours, which is awesome. So this is purely out there. Those are not records that exist in the system. We just calculate it based on those snap value. And with our other information here, you can see that we can see the data. So forecasted schedule hours is 569. Forecasted logged hours will be 526 at the end here for 526.4. So again, a lot of foresight or future visibility in terms of what can be done. On top, we have another button here that can show you what is your FTEs or your resource that are allocated. So this is my scheduled people by role. So you can see that I have project manager and developer that were scheduled. And I can see the difference between what was logged in terms of hours between my resources. So we even have that level of FTE showing. And because with reports and plotting, there's always a scale thing. You can see here that we have the scaling. If you prefer having really steps instead of having a smooth line, you can do it. And this has an impact depending on the scale that you're looking at. So if you're looking at the weekly value or if you're looking at the monthly value, and depending if you want a step or curve, you're going to see the data a little bit differently. But we offer all options within our Snap Workspace. Okay, so this is the first one of 5 that we're going to demo today, but the 5 different graphs that we have. This one is called multi-layer. Is there a question that I absolutely need to answer at this point, Rosalie, before I move to the other one?
No, I think we can cover those generally for.
Okay, perfect. I'll try to come back to them, but I'll go on the other one. So another button you have here on top, you can put yourself full screen. I'm going to move to our resource, our heat map. So we are introducing a heat map. Okay, this heat map is based on what has been logged versus what is scheduled. So again, earn value. This is where we're going with this. So, and this is the base on the resources, and it's on a daily basis. But what's fun with that is that you can group it, because it's okay if I overwork this week, but I didn't do anything in the last 3 weeks. My performance is still bad. So by grouping it in different scale, you're gonna see that. So that from a weekly to a monthly. So I can see that this is all future stuff. It's fine, but you can see here that Roxanne in December didn't do very well. Her variance is 110 hours. She was scheduled 110. She logged 0. So you can see at a glance here that December was not a good month on this project by Roxanne. And again, I can go and I group, but on the overall performance, on a yearly performance, we're not that far though. We're 14 hours apart. So the plan itself was a bit off. The overall goal though was good. Okay. What else you have here is that, let me go back maybe to a monthly. What you can also group by role. So instead of looking at my people here on the left, I can see my role, my business analyst, same thing, which role is on track in terms of their schedule, which one is not. And here you can click on it. And by clicking on it, it's going to show at the bottom here some of that cumulative graph that we saw before with the schedule hours and with the logged hours. So if you want to see another perspective of those specific line, and this work as well if you're not looking at role, but if you're looking at different resources, and you can group by project, by task, and we have a concept of phase one, level one, so you can even drop it by phase, so you can see plan design was good, bill was good, delivering, this is where we struggle in December. Okay, pretty cool. Huh? Love this. Okay, so let me go back to role and switch to the next graph. This one is a bit more standard, but this is just purely to have everything at the same UI. So if you just want to compare easily based on your scale, this is all time, but it could be the last 30 days. What was scheduled, what versus what was got logged. You have that got graph with those bar chart. This one we've just removed it since we're in beta. This was not really from prime time at this point. Variance analysis. Let me go back to a weekly. Oops. Go back to all time. So this is the variance overall in your project for everyone. So if you were over log versus schedule or under log versus schedule, there should always be as well some good legends. So if there's some missing or it's unclear, let us know. But quite often there's some good legend. You can always hover and click as well on it so you can see the details in pretty much all of our graph. And the last one, how much time do I have left, Rosalie? 5 minutes?
You're good,
Because
you're
this
good, you're
one,
good. Yeah,
I'm good? Okay. This one is exciting, and I think a lot of people wanted that, and a lot of people have been using this with other tools that I won't name at this point, but then they are called Burndown chart. And we've introduced a burn down chart in client. We're going to change the icon because it seems to be a burn up, but it is a burn down. But we've introduced a burn down chart, and this is the frame of it. So without any other layers that we're providing, because we cannot just introduce a simple burn down chart. We needed to bring it to the next level. So what you see here, it's the ideal line for your project. Again, it respects the timeline you specify, so you can always see it. And then the purple line is the hours log. And we can see that based on that ideal line, and I mean ideal in agile world, it's like you're supposed to always do the same number of effort per week, so that's why it's ideal, but the real world is rarely ideal. But in that ideal world, we're behind by 95 hours. Okay, so you can easily as well show again the labels so you can track hours better. But as well, if you just want to have your milestone showing, we have that dimension. I'm clicking on the top right now. If you want to see the variance better, you have that to be showing. On the left side, you see the legend, it's hours. If you want to see it in percentage and going up, so we're at 59, not 9% completed in terms of hours. We should be more around 80% here. You can do that. We have this line, and we're going to come back to it later, but so far this means that the project is going pretty well. This one I like a lot. This one is also showing your task, and it's based on either the completion date of your task. So you can see that those at the bottom are darker because they're completed, while those tasks here, they're still open. And what's cool is that you can see what was, if I highlight that card, I can see that there was one task completed, estimated hours were 76, and we logged 90. So the purple, again, is log. It's higher than the blue. No good. We went over budget by 14, but you can even see your future. So this task is supposed to close in March 6th, but we've estimated 60, and we log already 40 hours. So this one needs to be checked. And validated to make sure that we don't go over budget. Okay. And the line that I love on top, like I said, that target line is not the idea. that ideal line doesn't exist in the real world all the time. So now you can also add that schedule line that we've been working, but in a burn down way, meaning that we're combining earned value with everything that the burn down brings us. So we have that schedule. So even if with the ideal we're off, we can see that we're very well tracking with your schedule line. We saw that in our previous graph. But now we're combining that level 2. And for Jason, if you're listening, if you prefer working with your plan line, you can also work with plan. The only thing, you'll be missing all your nice tasks here at the bottom. If you're not using task, you won't add this, but you can still go ahead and work with this system. Full screen I've shown. We also have a dark theme. It takes a few seconds for the eyes to adjust, but you have a dark theme, and you can download any one of our graphs. Let me just escape the full screen mode. This one too. You can download, and depending if you're a dark theme or not, and whatever you're seeing, this is exactly the same PNG that's going to be downloaded. So this is all part of that workspace, Snap Workspace. That's all coming with your licenses. So hopefully you will have fun with it. We looking forward to your comments. The portion I didn't mention, maybe just to conclude, and those are the part that we're gonna keep improving. You can see you can mark some as baseline. Now we're looking at that first one here, but I can compare as well with my. Let me go back to my multi-layer. In my multi-layer, I can compare with my baseline or any other variation of my project. So I can compare with several other variation of my project. And you can see that the blue line, the dotted blue line at the bottom was my baseline. So I'm over booking, but at the end, I'm going to be very close. And the orange line, that other version was way off of what we're tracking. But this is also, and you can even trigger the revenue, the cost of those comparison line. This we're gonna add more functionality to it, some more subtlety to it as well in the next evolution. But I think this gives you a good wrap up of what can be done with the Snap Workspace.
All right. What I will do is I'll just start a quick poll because we're just curious. After seeing all this, we want to know like which of all these things that Yannick showed you think you'd like to use the Snap Workspace for. So you have the list. You can have a look. You can select as many options as you want. And in the meantime, Yannick, I don't know if you can answer one question that there was some +1 on is this. If we have an annual target allocation for each team member, how can we easily insert or set that data for these to work properly for comparison with plan? I don't know if that's something they can already do, or maybe that's a roadmap.
I've been looking at the project snap. We also have a resource snap. For now, I think it's the same as the task estimate line. Is that, I think, what's it's kind of the goal, the end goal, but it would be for a resource that you're asking for. So now it does look for a schedule, project schedule or a task schedule, but we don't have that goal. But that's a good idea. Maybe we can introduce a target goal in that resource plan. We didn't have time to dig into it, but resource snap, it's a bit different in terms of what you can see. There's no burn down. So the resource snap is something that we're going to improve as well. So ideas are welcome.
Yeah, and again, if you have any feedback, just send us our way, feature request, all that. And Natalie is going to drop, we have a documentation as well that is a bit more extensive than what we have in the release notes. So go have a look at that. There's more details. We could spend like 3 hours just talking about the Snap Workspace. So have a look at that. It will be in the chat shortly. Did you have anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
You're still seeing my screen. You might see on LinkedIn posts that looks like this, and it would be very appreciated if you can just like it. If you can like it, it's good, but reposting it, it's even better. And our little mascot, Timey, is telling you that reposting with your thoughts, it's even better. So we're trying to do push on marketing side. So if you guys can just maybe like, we're trying to promote this, so if you can help us out to put it out there, we do believe that this is a game changer. We have we're, you know, that the Jira is something that is doing very well. We have now a Jira sync, like Rosalie will mention in a second, but well, now we also have a great burn down that you can couple with the client to put your project inside.
All right. Okay, I'll try to wrap everything up in 5 minutes. I know there's some question. If you have question, you can drop them in the chat. We'll make sure to answer them. Quick update on the project agent. We officially, and I'll let Yannick demo it while I explain a few things. So we officially launched the project agent in January. We demoed it a little bit in December and January again. From now on, we'll always include a little update in every product update webinar on what's new in the agent so you can stay up to date. I know some of you already installed the agent, which is fantastic. If you have already installed it, keep in mind that project agent versions are upgraded separately from the client package. So if you already installed it, you need to upgrade your agent to get the latest improvement. And the upgrade link can be found in the client community, same place where you can see the upgrade link for the client package. The agent release notes will be available in the community eventually, but in the meantime, just send us a message. We'll send you like more explanation on upgrade notes. And if you're not using the agent and you would like to use it, just manifest your interest somehow in the chat. Say, hey, I want to know more. We'll reach out to you after, or you can always send us an email. So essentially, since we launched the project agent, we're now on version 0.3. We've done some improvements, but now the biggest one is you can update project and task fields directly using natural language. So actually, Yannick, can you tell us, like, you've asked a couple of things, what you've asked so far?
Yeah. And the first thing I've asked is give me a project status for the name of my project. So he's going to also recommend some project if you don't have the name perfectly. And then it bring back some the status, the percentage complete, budgeted cost, actual cost. So it returned me pretty much all the good information. Go live date as well. There's quite often, usually there's a link as well, so you can click and access it directly. Then I've asked him what's the task in the project, and then it returned me the different tasks that we have. And you can see that this is something we have implemented, so you need to be aware. We're just to make sure that there's a question of token, context, and everything with AI. So we're returning by batch of 10. So if you want to have more, you can just always say show more. I've asked if what's the description of my project. There's none. So my next question is, I can say, for example, based on the task name of my project, suggest a description, and then I could just ask him to update that description. You can ask him to create task as well. So you can say add a task to that project. You can ask him how many times I've been logged on my project. We already seen it here, but you can even ask by whom. So in this specific case, we had 305 hours logged, but you can ask by whom, and it's going to return that information. So it's interesting. It's interesting to just explore what you can do with it. It's version 0.3, like you said, Rosalie. The speed, and sometimes it's very fast, sometimes it's a bit slower, but it's like any other AI. We're going to continue to improve it. The next, we're going to look at roadmap, I'm guessing, Rosalie.
Yeah. For the agent, normally the next version of the agent should be released at the same time that the version 51.3 for a client. So yeah, do share your feedback so we can incorporate in the roadmap. And speaking of ideas and roadmap, before we wrap up, we just want to share the roadmap as always. So you can see version 51.2 will be GA next week, and then 51.3 will be GA 1st of April. So next webinar, we will do it again. It will probably be in beta state, and we'll do it on that version. Couple of things, because I won't go through everything, but you can see the little robot emoji there, which is what's coming for the agent. Couple of things I want to mention is highly requested one, the undo redo in the workspace that's coming. I think a lot of people are asking for that. In my timesheet as well, for everyone using the Google Outlook, Google or Outlook integration, we're doing grouped rows, which is something I personally ask and a lot of people on the team ask. So that's coming. And we're also working on a touchpoint agent, which is another separate agent than the project agent. I don't want to say more, but it should help you do customer follow-ups and touch points. So coming soon. Beyond that, there's a lot more in motion. You can check our roadmap on the website. I do encourage you to vote for your favorite ideas as always. So we currently have 16 ideas for you to vote. We added 4 new ones just this month. So make sure after the webinar, you take a couple of minutes and just go through them. You can filter, sort them to see the newest one at the top. So yeah, you can see the list there. And one of them, I want to put your attention. We have the Snap Workspace preset functionality we want to add. So if there's enough vote, we'll do it. And then conclusion. Yeah, quick updates. 2 things we want to update you on. And if we're at 45, if you need to drop, it's fine. But our client Jira time tracking app is now available on the Atlassian Marketplace. We will drop the link in the chat. So if you are using Jira and you're thinking maybe we want to test this out, there's a 30-day trial, free trial. So you just click the link, follow the instructions. You can let us know if you have any questions. Second thing is 2 weeks ago now, we launched a new customer Slack channel where we share product update, upcoming features, key announcement. I usually post a couple of interesting things. So if you want to stay up to date and you're big Slack users, make sure you can ask in the chat or ask in support if you want us to invite you if we haven't invited you yet. And finally, I invite you to register to our next webinar, which will be March 26th. So in 5 weeks, again, Thursday at 11 a.m. EST. We will be sending a follow-up email after today. I will include answers to most of the questions that went through the chat and a couple of useful links. I see there was some question. If you have some question, we'll stop the recording, but you can add them in the chat still. And then before we finish up, I will just maybe I should have put it before.
It's my bad. Sorry, I've talked too much. I got excited with the Snap Workspace.
We put but it's okay because customers are really excited about the Snap Workspace. We put the survey here. I know there was quite a lot of first-time webinar attendees, so we're particularly interested in your feedback. If you can take a couple of seconds. We do know we speak really fast. You can still mention it in the feedback, but we are aware. And yeah, otherwise, was there anything else you wanted to add, Yannick, to finish off the webinar?
No, we're late. So thank you very much,
We're late.
everyone. It's been a pleasure.
All right, bye-bye. We'll stop the recording, but leave it on.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.